Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's show is presented by Panda Sups. We got an unbelievable code for you. Why? Because Panda, the owner, Merbad, big-time Raiders fan, and he knows. First 2 weeks, man, they've hurt a little bit. So I want you to use code SADPANDA for 50% off at chatsports.com/stack. We got an awesome stack for you with some BCAs, some greens, a shaker. Overall, it's like $115 value. You can get it for about $58. That link's going to be available for you guys in the comments and in the description of today's video. So a friendly reminder that this is filmed on Tuesday, and if you want to be able to join all of our award-winning mailbags, turn on those notifications and hit that subscribe button. Let's go to the first one coming in from Brandon Jasper. Why can't McDaniels... Oh, man, what is that? Skill at coordinating transfer over to head coaching. Here's the thing. Realistically, Josh McDaniels has never succeeded without Tom Brady. Yeah, they did an okay job last season, I think, with Mac Jones. They did an okay job. I don't want to take that away from them. But in the years that he's been a head coach with Denver, he was 11-17. The 1 year Tom Brady left, he had Cam Newton. They were ranked as one of the worst offenses in football. And then you drafted a quarterback in round one of Mac Jones, who I thought did an okay job, but still wasn't spectacular. I think the biggest thing that people need to realize, and one of the things that I said when the Raiders were looking at McDaniels, and the reason why I didn't want the Raiders to hire him, is because he's never had success outside of Tom Brady. And what he did to Indianapolis was kind of spineless. So I'm worried here. You got a spineless head coach. I'm not saying he's still that same man you can change, but it does make me a little bit nervous, man. Let's go to Mondo87 8K. Was at the game. It sucked. Spent $250. I'm sorry, man. That definitely sucks. I will say this, though. Raiders tailgates are a lot of fun. Raiders pregame parties are a lot of fun. Being in Las Vegas, hanging out with Raider Nation is something that I wish I could do. But, hey, I got to do this show here. Hopefully, though, maybe you tune into some Raiders Report shows or our watch parties going forward. What up, Zelsbo? What up, Mitch? The D gave Murray 20 seconds to run in that touchdown. Yep, the defense struggled. But I'll also say this. The defense was missing 3 starters. You're missing Trevon Merrick, Denzel Perriman. Bilal Nichols ended up getting hurt in that game. I know I'm missing another name for somebody who didn't play. Either way, you didn't have some of your biggest defensive players out there. That's number one. Your offense can't do anything. So your offense couldn't do anything. Your defense was on the field the entire time. I'm also going to point the finger and say Patrick Graham needed to make adjustments. The way that Patrick Graham runs his defense is more of a bend but don't break defense. He's okay giving up those long drives and then giving up a field goal. That can work when you have depth. The Raiders didn't have the depth because of injuries, and Patrick Graham didn't make the adjustments. If I'm going to be real with you, if somebody were to ask me who's more to blame, offense or defense, I would say 80% of the loss was on the offensive fault. 20% would be on the defense. Let's go to Kill at the Reeds. Kill of Threads. All right. If the Raiders miss the playoffs, is it time to move on from Carr or McDaniels? You can make an argument for either, man. You really could. Here's the issue. Josh McDaniels isn't going to go anywhere. He's not. He's going to be your head coach. The way that they structured a lot of contracts to me, Josh and Dave Ziegler, they have 3 years. The real question is, would it be time to move on from Derek Carr if you miss the playoffs? And if they do, I'm going to guess that if the Raiders got to pick between Carr and McDaniels and you have to pick between one, my guess is that they would then end up moving on from Carr because you can actually get out of his contract and save $110 million overall. And then if I'm McDaniels, then sure. Then you draft your quarterback. There is that other option there where if you're kind of in this like 20 range in terms of draft picks, you had a better year, but you didn't quite make the playoffs, then do you draft a quarterback, let them learn behind Derek Carr for a season, you pay DC $34 million per year. All of those things are options that the Raiders will have to consider. But if you only win like 5 games, and you're a top 10 pick, yeah, it's going to be Derek Carr's last season. Let's go to Wild Raider 307. The secondary deserves credit on plays. Kyler extended. They need help from the D-line to get to the quarterback. Can we sign somebody already? Yeah, I definitely think that the Raiders need to sign somebody. You need to add some extra depth there on the linebacking unit. You need to add some extra depth at defensive line. Those guys got tired. The secondary, to me, played great. The secondary looked really legit. Like, you're not going to be able to cover receivers for all day, and one of the things that makes Kyler spectacular is his ability to run. That ability to run, it makes me think like, okay, I get it. Derek is a good quarterback, but if you could find somebody like a Kyler Murray, and I get those guys don't grow on trees, but if you could find somebody like that, that takes you to the next level. It does. What up, Kenny? Stephen A. ripped him a new one, and he deserved it. Kenny, you're 100% right. I think a lot of Raider fans would agree. Stephen A. doesn't say a lot of smart things when it comes to the Raiders or the NFL. That one was right, and sometimes hearing the truth, it hurts. Derek needs to step up. He needs to elevate his game because he is the leader of the franchise. He was paid to do so, and if he's unable to do so, then it's time to move on. It sucks, but then it's time to move on. Now, today's show, y'all, is presented by Panda Sups, and we got a really, really awesome offer here that I'm excited to tell you guys about. Go to the link that you see below, chatsports.com/stack. It's going to be available for you guys in the comments and in the description of today's video. 50% off with code SADPANDA. You get some BCA's hydration, some greens, and the BCA's, they actually come in a lot of different flavors. You got melon ball, strawberry watermelon, which I love, pink lemonade. Plus, they're just going to throw in that free shaker. Overall, it's a $115 value, which you guys can get by either scanning that QR code, going to the link that you see below, and it's a $115 value for about $58. This link is not going to last forever. This deal will not last forever. I believe the deal is only valid until kickoff on Sunday's game against the Titans. So if you need some new workout supplements, if you've been jogging as much as Jeremy has, here you go. Here's a good deal. Let's go to Klissman. Mitch, I agree with you as far as saying we might need a change in scenery if this continues. But legitimately, if we move on from D.C., who comes in? There's not a lot of great options, man. Like, truthfully, there's not a lot of great options. Free agency, there's only one quarterback that I would say is actually an upgrade over Carr. That's Lamar Jackson, and you'd have to pay him a shit ton of money. In the draft, the only two options that I like are Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. And even C.J. Stroud makes me hella nervous because he went to Ohio State, and all these Ohio State quarterbacks, they come to the NFL and they struggled. But if you want to get one of those two guys, you got to be in the top two picks because those guys next year are going to go 1 and they're going to go number 2. Your options to upgrade over Carr are not great. You're right. However, I don't think that keep on doing the same thing over and over again. If Derek can't win with this team right now, I don't have confidence that Derek's going to be able to win. Point blank. Zachary, what up, bro? Are we forgetting the new coach? Again. Playbook? Again. Play calling? Again. O-line not making it easy to transition against two tough teams. No reputable person should judge this early without that in mind. Love you, though. Zach, I love you, too. And I don't want you to feel like that you have to put love you. I want people to be able to speak their mind. You're right. New coach again. Here's how I would fire back at that then. If you're so worried about a new playbook, about new coaching, about new play calling, that's also going to fall on Josh McDaniels, no doubt. To me, if all those things are in worry, he should be out there in the preseason. Also, if all those things are you're worrying, you don't make him a top 5 paid quarterback. You don't pay somebody top 5 money. You don't give somebody $120 million if you're worried about all of those things. And I read all the reports. Derek has looked the best he ever has, and I think Derek's a good practice player. He shows up at times. But, yes, he's had a lot of fourth-quarter comebacks, and there's at times where he's so clutch, and there's other times where he just shits the bed. The O-line is getting ripped, and they do not deserve to get ripped. If you're the Raiders and your defense has given up 24 points to the Chargers and 23 points to the Arizona Cardinals, with this offense, the way that the offensive line is played, you need to win those games. That falls on Derek, and it falls on Josh McDaniels. Let's go to Ricky Viva Bama. How much would it take to get Lamar Jackson at quarterback next year since he's a free agent? Technically, yes. Lamar Jackson, if the Ravens and him do not get a deal done, which Lamar said he's not going to talk deal until the end of the season. If he hits the free agency market, which, all right, let's go to Bobby. If Lamar Jackson don't sign with the Ravens, do we have a shot? Every team, I think, has a shot. How much money do you want to give him, though? Because Lamar Jackson has already apparently turned down a deal where he's making about $48, $49 million a year. And according to reports, it had about $140 million guaranteed. If Lamar Jackson keeps on playing the way as he has, he already has one MVP. If I'm Lamar, I say, you see this Deshaun Watson deal right here? Top it. I want to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. If I'm Lamar Jackson and I hit the free agent market, which I don't know the last time a quarterback of Lamar's caliber with an MVP has ever actually hit the free agency market, I don't know, man, especially at that young of an age. $250 million guaranteed, $270 million guaranteed. Hell, $300 million guaranteed to me wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. And if you're the Raiders and you want to try to bring him in, I think the starting point for Lamar Jackson is probably $250 million guaranteed. Highest paid quarterback in the NFL. If you're like, it's too much, you ain't going to get him. Because as far as I'm concerned, there will be an NFL team out there that will offer Lamar that. That I can promise you. What up, JV? Javi? It's week 2, guys. Let's show some commitment. I don't know if you're talking to me or everyone watching right now. I'm committed to this team. There's a lot of panic, but I do think that Raider fans deserve to be emotional. Think about how much was riding into this offseason. People spend their time. People spend their money. Those are very, very valuable things. I am okay with people being passionate. Let's go to Rashissimo. I was at the game. Sucked to take the L like that, to be honest. Carr didn't play well in the second half, and I didn't like how the Raiders abandoned the run game. You're 100% right, Rashissimo. DC played incredible in the first half. Struggled a little bit in the second half. But the fact that the Raiders in that very first drive, 8 carries for Josh Jacobs, led to a touchdown. The fact that the Raiders only ran the ball 9 times for 20 yards in the second half, up 20-0, is despicable. It's bad coaching all around. Josh McDaniels is the number one reason why the Raiders lost that game. They didn't make adjustments. The Cardinals did. Josh McDaniels didn't take his foot off the gas. However, if you're going to be a leader like McDaniels, and I even think, guys like Derek Carr, there are certain quarterbacks who would never, ever let that happen. And it happened to the Raiders. Let's go to 20-foot turd. If Carr earns a cut, don't you think Tay will demand a trade? He claims quarterback security is one of the biggest factors in coming to LV. He might. I don't have the answer to that. But I also know this. If I'm Davante Adams and I want to make my money, okay, I want to make my money because Davante Adams' contract, essentially, you should look at it as 3 years, $67 million. He's making $22.5. If the Raiders aren't successful after the first 3 years, they can get out of Davante's contract. And then Davante's out $72 million. Davante wants to win. I get it. Or he wants to I hope he wants to win. And if Derek can't do it with this team, maybe Adams is okay moving on then. They're buddies. But Adams is a winner, man. He's a winner. Let's go to the greatness of the Raiders. All I can say now is patience. Patience. Multiple patience. Is that why you've been laughing? Yeah. The greatness of, what were we talking about yesterday? A duvet? A duvet?
You mistake a duvet for a bidet.
A bidet, that was it. I remember somebody sent me that video, which I thought was pretty comical, but hey, it's all good. Words, not my strong suit either. What up, Raider Ocho? Oh, here's some super thanks that are coming in. Friendly reminder for those of you that don't know what this is, if you can't join a live show and send in a super chat, you can always do these things called super thanks, which is a heart. It's a money. It's basically sending in a super chat on videos that aren't live. So Raider Ocho, sign Williams and Sue. So Darrell Williams and Ndamukong Suh. We're still talking about these guys. I will say there are a lot of free agents out there that I am shocked that aren't into the equation. Like that I am, pretty shocked about. Robert Perry, thanks. Go Raiders. Go Raiders, Robert. Luke, what up, man? Cheers to you, bro. Thank you for tuning in to the Raiders Report. Got another super chat coming in from Shane. This is going to be the last one. First loss, I put the blame on Carr, but the second loss is all McDaniels. I agree, and I agree. He needs to give up on that Patriot way. This is Josh's last chance to be a head coach. Josh is 11-19 all time at being a head coach. He has yet to show me that he can lead a football team when he is a head coach. I'm hoping that changes, but I know a lot of people got mad at me when I said I didn't want the Raiders to hire McDaniels. I changed my tune because it looked like they were doing the right things. It looked like that they were being aggressive. But hey, I don't know, man. Let's go to J_the Great. Do you think Merrick, Perriman, and James play this week? It's a good question. Personally, I would rank it as Andre James has the best chance, and then Denzel Perriman. Personally, I think Andre James and Denzel Perriman both have a chance to play. Merrick, to me, with the hip injury, does make me a little bit nervous. Papaya Man saying that... You got it? All right. So who's the most important out of those 3 players? Is it Trevon Merrick? Is it Denzel Perriman? Is it Andre James? Let me know down in the comments section. For this upcoming week, it's Denzel Perriman. And the reason why I'm going to say that is you're going up against Derrick Henry. Yeah, Henry hasn't played all that great. The Titans have looked bad, but I need a run stopper. Denzel Perriman is one of the best run stoppers in the league. So for this week, I'm going to type 52. What up, Papaya Man? Time to move on from Carr if we don't make the playoffs. It's a long shot, but Bryce Young, can they make it happen? The only way you're making that happen is if you're in top 2 picks, or if you're like in the top 10-ish area and you do what the 49ers did to get Trey Lance, giving up all those first-rounders. That's what you got to do, and probably give up even a little bit more to get up into the top 2, because Bryce Young's going in the top 2, man. What up, L.I.? What about the D, though? 1 sack so far. The defense hasn't been great. I'm not going to get that twisted. However, when you look at pressure rate and pressure rate alone, the defense, I don't think, has played as bad as what some of the numbers have indicated. Also, on top of that, the secondaries look good. You gave up 24 to the Chargers. You gave up 23 points to the Cardinals. The reason why they gave up so many points to the Cardinals in the second half is because they were gassed, because the offense couldn't do anything. Patrick Graham needed to make some adjustments. But in that Chargers game, you got big-time stops in the fourth quarter. You gave your offense 2-3 chances to score. With that offense, those are 2 games that the Raiders should have won. Clemson Tiger 416, I'm sorry, but after the way the Raiders fans treated Hunter Renfrow, I can't pull for y'all to win anymore. He had 1 bad game, and this is his treatment. I mean, you don't have to root for the Raiders. That's on you. And if you're a Hunter Renfrow fan, that's totally fine. I know Raider fans were upset at Hunter. I do think it's sad that the way a lot of Raider fans talk to Hunter Renfrow on social media for that fumble, which I do think is despicable, but you're bracketing a small amount of Raider fans into an entire group. You can do what you want, but I'm not going to stop rooting for the Raiders personally. Now, you guys can always interact with me on social media, Twitter, Instagram. You guys know where to find me. Stay up to date, Raiders news, rumors, all that good stuff. We do a lot of 50-50 raffles, so please add me as a friend on Venmo. Jeremy and I are going to do a 50-50 raffle on Thursday for the Thursday night football game between the Steelers and the Browns. So please add me as a friend on Venmo.